Hello everybody, welcome back to another What If Civilization Started Over video. Today we're going to be doing World War II. And the first part of it we're going to be adding, as I'm going to be showing the reasons why World War II is going to happen, and also the alliances. The first main thing that made it happen was the red team fighting the orange team and the red team. Russia funding this group right here. And also the ship that got blown up, the brown team ship that got blown up by cyan team. And then we can see that this could really escalate with the alliance map, as red team, this brown team, and the orange and the cyan team up here both are own teams. And then we can see the Russian team and its ally up here. Then the triangle team with the cyan team and the blue team. Then we can also see over here, there is these three teams with Korea, China, and Thailand. Then we can see down here, there is the lime team, there is the blue team, and then there is the dark blue team. And then we're also going to add this purple team on their alliance, which is just recently added. And there we can see all of the alliances. But it was just publicly announced right before World War II is going to be starting that there's going to be a new one. The Hard Alliance. That's going to include these two teams plus this team. So now, there's only two different teams that aren't a part of this alliance that the red team borders, which could really hurt. So we can see all the alliances. They're only in Africa, Europe, and Asia though. But after World War II, we're going to see one in North America. So stay tuned for that. And now we're going to have the main thing starting. And the first part of the war is going to take place up here with the cyan team and the brown team. And the colonies are pretty separate from each other now, unlike what they used to be when they used to have a border up here between this blue team and the yellow team, which is old colonies. So first, they're going to try to march on. They're going to try to send like ships onto Britain. This is where we see some new technologies emerging, like tanks, and we see tanks, and we also see planes. But in World War II, there may be a country developing a nuke currently as we speak. Right now. Well, the first thing that's going to happen is up here, the brown team is going to make a landing. It's going to be a very small one as they come up through here, and then eventually the cyan team are going to be stop them, and then it's basically a stalemate for just a little bit. Meanwhile, the red team and the brown team down here declare war on the people up here, and the red team sends their aid through the Mediterranean up to the brown team. And then we also see the heart team declaring war on red team and their allies. And so we're already going to get started on this part, as they already and they start marching in this way and taking over some of this land in Turkey. Just like that. And the red team, the dark red team, is going to end up taking a capital and doing all of this. They're just not the most advanced from their last war. But they're going straight back in the war again. And they take this major city, which is going to hurt the red team a lot. Meanwhile, orange team is actually going to get pushed back a bit by the red team armies that were here. And just like this, they're going to take over some of these undeveloped territories, undeveloped provinces. Even though they still are highly developed, they're just undeveloped for this region. And then we move up like that. Then eventually some of the forces get pulled up to here. They're going to try and push them back a bit. But it's not going to do anything much anyway. But anyway, we're going to continue on with this war. And now the brown team is going to start sending aid. But this time, instead of making a landing in the blue team, they're making a landing in the orange team. And they also send the new bombers that they just made, that were developed, and quickly take over all this area. And then we see something being developed by Russia. And what they're going to get, the first nuke, and they're going to decide to test the nuke. We're going to make a new map for this to show all the nukes and how many nukes they have. Move this way up, and they test a nuke up here, and this is just going to show the radiation circle. And the first nuke has officially been dropped, and the whole world is now pretty scared of Russia entering this war because now they're getting pretty powerful. And then now we're going to see them develop. They're going to slowly develop more. They've been working on this for the past 2 episodes, and now they're going to, we're going to text red, we're going to put nukes, then we're going to put 1 nuke. So Russia has 1 nuke, and that's like really all we're going to be seeing from them, but we're going to keep it on just in case we need to. And then now we're going to get into the war even more, as the brown team and the red team make an equal push into this orange team. And they're pretty much dead from here because their capital's already been taken. But eventually the red team goes through all this land. And now the brown team, or this dark red team, is going to go up to the top and take this area. And they're going to try to keep the government. So they're still here, they're just being occupied by their other piece, by this dark red team. They're gonna take this much back, and then they're going to make a push back into the red team. But the red team does end up making a push from up here, going towards their capital, and also up here as they cut this off and make it to the Caspian Sea. Then they also push back a little bit against this blue team, and then we also see the red team landing up here in the brown team. But the brown team quickly moves most of their forces down to the bottom here to quickly invade. And they're going to invade Sicily right here. so that they can get a staging ground to attack the red team. And that's going to bring the Cyan team and the Triangle Alliance into this war. And then the next thing we're going to see is the Cyan team getting this land back as they're able to hold on to it. And then immediately the Cyan team and their ally are going to march straight through this area, and are quick to recapture some of this land as well as a major city. And then from this point on, this area is going to be stalemated for a little while anyway. Whereas Russia comes into this world war kind of with this purple team, and they're not part of the real world yet. But next episode, when we see more of them in the world war, they're going to be doing more stuff with it, maybe developing some more nukes. But they march slowly in, and then we see this team, because if we look at the alliances, we can see that this team is going to surrender over and try to join them, which they will be allowed to. And now they are going to be heart team, because the only reason that this trapezoid team was wanting to get to them was so that eventually maybe they can get to the brown team if they ever needed to. So now they're going to be a part of it, and they're going to get all their land back. Wait, that's the wrong. Just like this, they're going to get all their land back. Just like that. Pretty sure they had all this land. Maybe not. Well, we'll just keep it like this. They even get some extra land. I can't remember what it looked like before. Okay, let's just do this. They get back all of that land. And if this territory was the Russian team's, then we just get to say they kept some of it. That looks about right. Then, anyway, so now there's these three on the team. And the Cyan team and their allies are still in the war. And now the colonies are going to be fighting. As the main, where the Cyan team attacked the brown team was right over here in the Gulf of Mexico. Because they were shipping stuff off to this team. Right here. They were trading with them. Or at least heading there too. Now, this part of the team is going to rebel against the people who are here, and eventually, the people who shot them down from this tip of Mexico, and they're eventually going to be killed, and then there are going to be revolts all over this area. And they're going to be trying to form new countries. But immediately, right here, this is going to be one of the bigger ones. As they start like this, they make their way down and cut off their ties with this red team. Meanwhile, this yellow team is funding this team so they can get pretty far into the land before they have to stop when Cyan team shows resistance. And dark Cyan team shows resistance. As they march back through and take some of this land from the people who are here already. Most people were dealing with the World War. But now, this red team is going to try to take back they're going to take some of this land along with this yellow team. So it's going to go about like this. And they've already taken like all this much stuff over. This is initially what they wanted. And then the yellow team is also going to go around like this. And they're going to take all this over instantly. Just like that. And then the Cyan team still has a strip of west coast left. And they're going to be defending this with holding back like this. And then they peace out with these guys down here and these people up here. So that they can just send all their troops over to the war. they're allowed to keep a lot of this land. They just want a little bit of the west coast back. So I feel like they both got about this equal amount of territory from this war. And then they're going to send like all their troops down to Europe, not really down, but. And then this team is going to be granted with this, but the Cyan team, the Dark Cyan team, gets this little area. And then they just now own a narrow strip of land. With the Brown team sending all, so they're both not going to fight in their colonies, but they're all sending their troops all the way to their allies and all of that. And then the Brown team and the Cyan team are still in it, while the Red team makes another landing, this time in Sicily, and they're going to work together with this Cyan team to help get rid of them. Eventually they meet up and they agree that they're not fighting each other. They're just fighting together. They meet in this one city up right here. That's right here. And now they're going to both do a joint attack on Brown team. And the Brown team's not looking too good in this war. So they're going to be joining up with this Heart Alliance. So they're going to be joining them in hopes of being able to take out the Red Team Alliance. So now they're a part of it. And now these teams are all sending aid down to there. Meanwhile, the Brown team is sending troops into here. Just like this. And, boom. And then eventually, the rest of this area goes over to this team. I've been getting them all. And the government is still there. It's just basically in shambles. But eventually, for the Red team, up here, it's all taken back. Just like this, as they march in, and most of their forces are up here, and they're making like a front line up there. Meanwhile, fighting back against this team a little bit, but now a lot of their military is active, and eventually this team is going to try to cut off the Red team's going to try to cut them off from up there, and then another thing is going to be happening. And that is going to be the Cyan team and the Cyan team. What's going to be happening is the Cyan team is going to march straight in with the help of their ally right here and head for these major cities. And they end up capturing one. They make it to right about to another one. And all their military is coming. All their military is here for this. But eventually, the Brown team they're running through all their military, and I'm pretty sure it goes the dual military, conserves, and reserves. And reserves would mean you're out of military, that's all you have left, one final strong push. And if that's true, then they would be at conserves right now, running out basically all their military, besides their navy. Their navy is still here, but now the Cyan team is going to be pushed up once again, but this time they take a major city and go in like this. And eventually pushing them out of Britain. And now they're just to their island. But then, eventually, their allies are come back to help them. And then another team joins the Heart Alliance. And that team is going to be this piece of the Brown team. So now we have lots of alliances that are included in this war. And as we see, there are currently 3 alliances in the war, with eventually 4. We know 4 because I just said that. Because either Russia's going to join the war and their allies, or this African group is going to join the war, or this West Asian alliance is going to join the war. It's going to be one of them. I'm confirming that. And then next we see the red team launching some boats over here to try to get to the lower tip of the brown team, and it goes really successful. They get to a major city, but from there they're just pushed down to this little corner. And then next we see that down here, this dark red team is going to make pushes back down and reclaim the former capital of the orange team. And they go this way, like that. But the brown team is able to hold out and reconnect with their ally. And then they do a sweeping push, trying to take out the rest of this land. I'm going to turn alliances off so you can see this better. They take this major city, and they're just sweeping through now. And eventually, up here we see, as we go back to the nuke layer, we see that Russia's nuke here is going to be, just going to be gone. They're going to use it again. And then, boom. And then we see that up here, there is still this one area where they bombed. And then they're also going to test it out this time over there. And this one is bigger than the last, which is good for them because it means it's stronger. But then eventually something goes wrong and the whole island is just wiped and sink under the water. Just like that. And that part's also going to sink. Places where the nukes aren't really affected because they're more inland. But now it's just a small little island. And then next we also see Russia has 2 nukes. Not 2 nukes launched, but 2 nukes now. So total of all the things they've had 4 nukes. And now we're going to see the brown team sending more units this time. So now they were at reserves, if what I said was correct. Now they're sending even more from over here, like all their military from over here. So they're back up to their normal military, and they're able to push these guys back and take a major city. And then, as we saw, this team right here, it joined the heart team, so now it's going to be pushing back. Blue team is going to try to push them back because they're at war with the red team, and the red team's not really allies with them, but they're still going to. Let's just not make them attack. They're going to go up through. Brown team though, and eventually they're going to attack the blue team, but red team said the allies, or not the allies, the red team, the people at war with the red team say they're not with them. So eventually this blue team, they're not with them on this attack, and eventually they just get uppercutted basically until they say that they were sorry. And then this blue team is able to keep some of their land. Just like that. But they'll keep this little area and that. So now there's new borders, and basically everybody is now just attacking the brown team. from all angles, basically, from east and south, and maybe eventually west or north. But what we do see is what's from the actual north is Iceland sending their troops down through here and coming over here as like a surprise attack over onto Denmark. Denmark and Copenhagen have been captured, as well as this major city. And now they're pushing down through it. And now they are being attacked from everywhere besides the west. So, at the power rankings before this video, it would probably be number 1, Russia. So I'm going to just draw like an outline. Number 1, Russia. Number 2, brown team. Number 3, and we'll just draw this on Greenland, is cyan team. Number 4, red team. Number 5, Korea. Number 6, other brown team. Number 7 will be South America, South Africa. Number 8 over here. And then finally, number 9. And then number 10. So, number 1, Russia. Number 2, brown colonizer. Number 3, cyan colonizer, dark cyan colonizer. Number 4, red. Number 5, Korea. Number 6, brown team. Number 7, South Africa. Number 8, South American, Brazil, I guess. Number 9, Thailand, Vietnam, maybe. And then number 10, this Australian team. And then after that, that'd probably be it. And now, we're going to see more of the war as cyan team makes another landing up here with this, and the blue team marches up with them. And then the red team eventually gets there. And now, the brown team is all the way cut off from the sea. And they're getting kind of beaten. Like, they're probably not going to win this war. Unlike World War I, where they barely did. This time, they're probably not going to be so lucky. As they march in, and they're back at conserves again, and almost into their reserves, which is really bad. As with these conserves, they eventually push down and take this major city, and go into this team from the south too, and eventually take over a lot of that. Then they eventually reclaim old lands that they had over here. And then they also go back up through Denmark and take over Copenhagen again and make a landing there and take back Denmark. But the cyan team is going to take back Britain, and they're going to invade down here. Now we're going to go back over to the red team, where they were mostly focusing in Europe, and they were just letting this team do its thing, and they're going to go up north, and they're going to try to meet up with this dark red team, who they thought was their current line, but they weren't. Eventually, though, they do meet up, and now they're just marching south, and then down here we see the red team moving in a little bit like this. And then the brown team is going to go up and make a landing up here in their normal territory. But eventually the soldiers from down here come back up, take over this area back, while the red team, they just an attack, eventually captures a lot of this area with the help of the brown team, of course. And they eventually encircle it. Most of their troops are gone. And eventually, the whole government has been changed down here. It's non-existent anymore. Completely gone. And so now it's just the red team, the dark red team, the light blue team, and this white cyan team, which looks like they're going to get beat in the war. There might be more than one loser. But now, cyan team's marching in again, and the red team troops are relocated up to here, where they eventually meet up with Caspian Sea and up here with the green team. And the green team has a lot of cultural differences from the red team, but they have secretly been supplying them with a bit of aid. And now the green team is going to join this war in hopes of protection from Russia. So now they're going to join this, I think I would say Circle Alliance. And now we can see that a lot of Europe and Africa is an alliance. And now it's basically choosing sides, like who they think will win. And the orange team is going to choose to form their own alliance, and this will be the actual square team. And they're going to form it with this purple team. And they're going to be peaceful in this war. They don't want anything to do with it. They just want protection in case any of the outside powers, not really outside, but the Russian team, the brown team, and the red team, they just want protection and to get away from all that. So we're doing this right now. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.